All right, guys, I want to do a little bit of a different style video because I haven't gotten a trade out this week, and I want to show you and tell you like what my performance was and how I was trading this week going into FOMC trading week, moving past a previous week of massive expansion and the previous week before that. Now, this is Monday's trading day, and I think I already put this on Twitter. This was a trade that I took on Euro long, and it was a trade that I closed break even and then ended up running to my take profit. Now, I want you guys to kind of absorb this information and understand that no matter what experience level that you could be at, you'll always make mistakes. Like, we're all human. We all make mistakes. We can get emotional at some times, even though we're supposed to act in this business as very mechanical. Don't believe anybody that says that they're perfect and they never make mistakes, because they're fucking lying to you. If someone is not transparent and doesn't show you losses and doesn't show you the back end as to what the reality is of true full-time trading, they're literally trying to scam you and show you a false reality behind this business. Now, here is Monday's trading as to what I was looking at going into New York AM session. Now, I had this hourly bullish fair value gap marked off on Euro, and we're looking for trade setups that are occurring past 8 o'clock in the morning. So here is New York AM session, and I'm going to do the same thing on the correlated pair GBP USD. We have a fair value gap here. Same thing with Euro. Now look at the fair value gap between Euro and Pound here. Notice that we have SMT divergence at the tag of that fair value gap. We have Euro making a lower low here, and we have GBP making a higher low here, failing to run that corresponding candle low. So SMT and fair value gap tag, we have step 1 and step 2 on our hourly chart. Now you guys already know what to do. We go to the 5-minute to look for an execution. So I'm going to replay price, go to the 5-minute and see what's happening. And I took the trade on Euro, not Pound. So I want you guys to understand that even though it is the weaker pair, this is still classified as an A trade setup. And I'll show right here, I alerted in my Discord at 9:05 that I was going to go long. And you could either take this on an evaluation or a 0.5% risk on a funded account, because my limitations on my risk parameters throughout a trading week is I only risk 0.5% on Mondays, or I'll trade an eval. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'll go full percent risk, or I'll classify that I'm taking it on an evaluation trade or reduced risk. So I'm always going to make sure that I'm classifying that specific limitation to what I'm doing in regards to the price delivery. So we're going to go to the 5-minute and look at Euro to see what is happening here on this chart. So if you guys know exactly what we're looking for inside of that hourly bullish fair value gap, you know that we need a down close candle to run a short-term low and then close above it. And if we have a down close candle here, this was high impact news at 8:30. So this down close candle here runs this specific short-term low right here. So this is a run of a sell side liquidity pool here, or also we have a run of a sell side liquidity pool here. Just to make the charts clearer, I'll draw out this one. Now, price closed above that down close candle at 8:55. So I alerted to my Discord at 9:05 in the next 5-minute candle that I am going long at the tag. This happened at exactly 9:04 in the morning. And I wanted my stop loss at the candle low that ran the short-term low, and I'm targeting a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So this was the ideology, and this was the narrative build behind my trade execution on that Monday. Execution here, stop loss set in, take profit in, and then we come back into the live stream at 9:15 is when we're monitoring the trade. So I'm going to fast forward price. I say at 9:43 that I'm going to close the position because it was ugly price action. Now 9:43 is roughly right here. Here's 9:40. So I'm going to fast forward price to right there. Actually, let me go back a little bit because I don't think it was at that candle here. It was at this specific down close candle here. Now, at this point in price, this was where it would be much more beneficial and a lot more helpful for you if you can't really stomach watching trades go live. Set and forget your position, because this is something that I wish that I should have done, because I should have accepted my risk and I should have walked away from the charts and just let the trade breathe and let it do what it wants to do. Either hit my stop loss or hit my take profit. I should have never closed this break even, because I legitimately closed it at the low here. This was when I closed my trade. Break even at my entry, and then you could see what happens after that. Because in this point in price, it was like a barcode. And I didn't like how this candle came down, closed below this up close candle here that ran the short-term high. Price expanded and smooth ran to my 1 to 2 risk to reward. Just like that. Now, I don't want you guys to think that every trader is perfect. And I don't want you to believe somebody that says that they never make mistakes, because this was a mistake that I never should have made. I should have set my position, accepted my risk, and moved on. I don't want you guys believing a false reality behind people you think are full-time and do this for a living, that they don't fuck up. Because everyone makes mistakes eventually. You just need to journal the mistake and then move on for the rest of your day. And that's exactly what I did. Like, I understood that I made a mistake, and I understand that I'm not perfect. Now, I want you to do the same thing whenever you make a mistake. Don't dwell on these mistakes. Just treat them as lessons that you'll learn from, tweak them, and then there'll be a win later on in the future. Now, this was my setup. This would have been classified as an A trade setup for the forever model. The whole entry model criteria was there: fair value gap with SMT, change and save delivery order block, execution, 1 to 2 take profit. That's literally it. That's all you need to do. Now, moving on into Tuesday, I didn't take a trade, and then let me show you what I did on Wednesday. So I went YouTube live on Tuesday, and I was just kind of giving like a pre-FOMC like price prediction as to what I think price is going to do, etc. Kind of stuff like that. And I was like, you guys were asking me if I was going to take a trade on Wednesday. And I was like, well, if I'm going to take a trade, it's going to be on an eval. So this is what I did on Wednesday. And I took an evaluation trade on gold, because gold has been bullish for quite some time. So I'm just going to be trading in regards to how the higher time frame order flow is. I'm going to keep looking for longs until said otherwise, and we get a weekly or a daily change in save delivery. So going into the day, we have to look at executions past 8 o'clock. Here is our 8 o'clock vertical line, and let me know if you could see the difference between gold and silver here. Now, gold tagged an unmitigated hourly bullish fair value gap resting right here. And then we had silver running this external range low there, with gold making a higher low, failing to run that same low, creating SMT at the tag of that hourly bullish fair value gap. So I'm looking to take the trade on gold when we created this SMT at the hourly gap. So let's just look at gold here and drop to the 5-minute chart for our execution to where we're looking to get a trade off of. Now, the original plan going into here for gold and what I wanted was to see price. I think I don't even need to explain it, because you guys already know what I'm looking for in regards to my executions. Now, this should be pretty self-explanatory. It stands out always like a sore thumb. This specific down close candle here that clears resting liquidity runs this short-term low, runs this short-term low. So I want price to close above that down close candle that ran the short-term lows and created our higher time frame SMT divergence. So this was the original plan, waiting for price to close above here, confirming the order block, and then I would go long, targeting a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So I need this to retrace into here and then target here, targeting all these highs above. Now, you could see what happens next. Still watching price, drops aggressively. drops aggressively again, fail to close above and confirm that down close candle as the order block. Now, our SMT was still held in here. Like, we still have SMT within that gap. So here's the problem that we're currently going through right now. And I'm going to replay this right now. Actually, I don't even need to replay it. We have the SMT still set in. Now, understand the open of 10 o'clock, the new hourly candle is here. We have a flat top high, and I'm assuming that this is just a manipulation lower to then go higher. So the inefficiency at the opening of 10 o'clock is my idea is price is going to come back up to that. So maybe I can get some sort of price move while this SMT is still held and this is a protected low, that we kind of get some sort of bullish move like this. I could execute and then go higher. Now, I want this hourly bullish fair value gap to stay intact. I don't want it to get closed off, because if it gets closed off and we invert it and the body closes it, that's going to tell me that this is no longer a valid piece, because I don't want fair value gaps that are closed off to be utilized as executions. That's not how I operate. That's not how I work, because you guys should know this by now. The bodies tell the story and the wicks just do the damage. So this being the idea for me, that the wick is forming on the hourly candle with a flat top open, I'm assuming that I'm going to be able to buy within that wick, and this being the manipulation part of the 10 o'clock hourly candle. So I'm going to fast forward price, and I want you to note the 11 o'clock close here. This is when the 10 o'clock candle closes. So I'm going to keep fast forwarding price and show you exactly what I was looking at and how I wanted to do this. Price drops again, sends a wick lower, still holding the SMT. This low is protected. Now keep going, keep going. I had this 5-minute inversion gap marked off, and I said to my group that if we invert this 5-minute gap, I'm going to try out and go long. We invert it right there. So what did I do? I long right here. I put my stop loss roughly about 50% of the wick here that ran these lows, and I wanted to target a 1 to 2 risk to reward, which is roughly right above targeting these highs here. So if I send this to the back, I have legitimately from here, this is 10:35. I have 25 minutes for this hourly candle to stay closed within this hourly bullish fair value gap. I needed the body to stay within it. And I said to them, if we close off the hourly gap, I'm going to close the trade. I don't care what happens next. Watch what happens. So I'm tagged in right there. And then here comes the hourly close right here. I'm going to go to the hourly chart. Actually, let me go to the hourly chart here. This is what we look like. This is what we look like. Does this give me confidence seeing the fact that we just inverse this hourly bullish for value gap? Do I believe that price is going to reverse from here and go higher? No. So what did I do? I say this. I'm closing the trade, guys. I already posted this on Instagram and TikTok if you guys aren't following me on there. I'm closing here. And that was my plan. So I closed the trade at that point because we inversed and closed off that hourly bullish fair value gap. And we had FOMC at 2 o'clock. So I did not want to have any risk laid onto the table. And look at what happens. Price just comes back up, starts clearing, closing above highs, and then we move higher. Just like this. But there was no way in hell that I was going to hold this trade, because even look, it comes back down lower, and then FOMC comes in, and then it goes to our take profit. This is something that I can't even care about, because there's no way, even if I held the trade, even with the hourly gap closed off, if price traded higher, clearing these highs, I would have went break even, or I would have at least partialed at one of these swing high points. But this was basically my performance for the week, how I was monitoring price action, how I was managing my trades, and this is the reality of a week that sometimes just doesn't go in your favor, and you have to accept that. You need to journal it. You need to note everything that you did just so that you could become a better trader moving forward. Because no matter what experience level you are, and no matter how deep you are in this game, you're always going to end up making some sort of a mistake down the line. And as a trader, you're always growing, you're always learning every single day that you come up to the charts. As long as you're showing up, you're going to be learning that day. It doesn't matter. Keep yourself humble. Don't let your ego fly too high because you're on a win streak or whatever, because the market will humble you like that. But this was just my version of showing you how a winning week can differ from a losing week or like a break-even week, because I didn't lose any live funds. This was an evaluation. But regardless, no winning trades this week, and we're going to just move on, take this one to the dome, and go into the next with a fresh start. So hopefully you guys can respect the transparency. I just want to make sure that you guys don't have a false narrative to how like I'm only posting A+ trade setups and stuff like that. It's good for me to post those setups just so that you guys can see the repetition of the model. But I also want you to see this part of trading, because this is not really shown on social media or YouTube, realistically anywhere, because nobody wants to post it because they're too scared from how people are going to view them. But I don't give a fuck. I know what I'm doing is winning. I know that I have a winning system, and it pays my bills. And it's also paying other people's bills because people are getting funded, people are getting payouts because they're learning from my process. Now, I hope you enjoyed this style. If you did, let me know in the comments, and I will definitely do more of them. But please, guys, like, comment, subscribe if you're not already. It means the world to me. And thank you guys again for 35,000 subscribers. We're on the road to getting to the 50K mark, and maybe who knows when I'll hit 100K. But truly means the world to me that my value that I'm putting out is changing your life too. But take it easy, guys. Hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next week for the next upload.